My mother drove 14 hours from Ottawa to Calgary last August to help my sister pick out curtains for her new condo. 14 hours. She packed snacks, booked a hotel in Sudbury halfway, made a road trip out of it, posted the whole journey on Facebook. Adventure with my girl. 6 weeks later, she told me she couldn't make it to my wedding because the 2-hour drive from Ottawa to Kingston was too hard on her knees. Let me say that again. 14 hours across 3 provinces for curtains. 2 hours down the 401 for my wedding. Too far. I walked down the aisle at St. Mark's Anglican Church with my father-in-law holding my arm. The front row had 2 empty chairs with ivory ribbons tied to them. Every guest saw, every single one. 2 weeks after that, my father showed up at my office holding a manila envelope. He wasn't there to say sorry. He was there to ask me to sign something. He had no idea what I was about to find in that envelope. But before I tell you what was inside, you need to understand how we got here. This didn't start with my wedding. It started the day my sister came home from the hospital. I was 6 years old. My name is Bridget Lawson. I'm 32. My sister Audrey is 5 years younger than me. I remember the day my parents brought her home. My mother carried her through the front door like she was holding something sacred. I was sitting on the stairs in my socks, waiting. I'd made a card at school, "Welcome home, baby," with glitter glue and a lopsided heart. My mother walked right past me, didn't even glance at the card. My father picked it up off the steps later that night and stuck it on the fridge with a magnet. It stayed there for 3 days before someone threw it out. The first Christmas I really remember, I was 7. Audrey was 2. I'd asked for a pair of white figure skates. I'd been watching girls at the Rideau Canal and wanted to skate like them. Christmas morning, there they were under the tree, white leather, silver blades, my size. My mother picked them up and handed them to Audrey. She can grow into them. You understand, right, Bridget? You're the big girl. Santa only has so much room in the sleigh. I got a colouring book and a pack of markers. I watched Audrey chew on the lace of my skates for the rest of the morning. I told myself it was fine. I was the big girl. Big girls don't cry about skates. Things didn't get better when Audrey got older. They got official. When I started grade 9, I went to Rideau Valley District High School. Public school, 28 kids per class, underfunded, good enough. When Audrey started grade 9 at a school called Ashbury College, private, $26,000 a year, my mother explained it like this. Audrey needs more structure. She's sensitive. You've always been resilient, Bridget. You can handle anything. Resilient. That was the word they used every time they chose her. You're resilient. As if being strong was the same as not needing anything. 4 years at Ashbury. $104,000. I kept track. Even at 15, I was keeping track. I worked at a Shoppers Drug Mart starting in grade 11. Cashier, then stock, 15 hours a week during school, 25 in summer. Every paycheck went into a savings account. I wasn't saving for anything specific yet. I was saving because no one had ever given me the feeling that help was coming. Then came university. I got into Queen's with a $12,000 entrance scholarship. Not enough. Not even close. I applied for OSAP, got approved, borrowed the rest. $67,000 over 4 years for my Bachelor of Education. I lived in the cheapest residence, ate dining hall pasta 4 nights a week, worked at the campus library for $14.50 an hour. Audrey got into the University of Ottawa 2 years behind me. My parents paid every cent. Tuition, residence, meal plan, textbook allowance, spending money. $54,000 over 4 years. Plus $31,000 for a semester abroad in Barcelona. My mother posted 43 photos of the farewell party she threw Audrey at the house. Bon voyage. Our world traveller. I called my father during my 3rd year. There was a teaching practicum placement in Edinburgh, Scotland. Partnership with the Faculty of Education. $5,500 for the full term. I'd saved $3,000 from my library job. I just needed help with the rest. Bridget, you know we're stretched. He said it the way he always said it, like the money had simply run out, like there wasn't a choice being made. Audrey needs a car for campus. She's been taking the bus and it's hard on her in winter. Maybe next year. There was no next year. Audrey got a used Civic. I got a form letter from the registrar reminding me and $1,000 reminding me my OSAP installment was due. I graduated in 2016 with a B.Ed and $67,000 in debt. Audrey graduated in 2017 with zero debt, a tan from Spain, and a $2,500 graduation check from my parents. I got a card in the mail, just a card. No check, no visit, no dinner. My parents came to my convocation. They sat through the ceremony but left before the reception. We promised Audrey we'd help her move to her new apartment this weekend. My mother said this in the parking lot. I was still holding my diploma in the folio. I watched their Camry pull out of the lot and merge onto the highway. $67,000. That was the price of my independence. I learned to celebrate alone because no one was keeping score for me. I started teaching grade 4 at a public school in Kingston in September 2016. Starting salary $48,000. It wasn't much, but it was mine. I taught kids who reminded me of myself, the quiet ones, the ones who packed their own lunches, the ones who didn't raise their hands because they'd learned not to expect to be called on. I understood them. By 2022, I was department lead, $72,000 a year, decent for Kingston. Stable, and every single month since 2017, I'd sent my parents $500. They called it helping with the house. I called it what it was, the tax I paid for being the daughter who survived without them. 6 years, $500 a month, $36,000 total. I never missed a payment. Even the February my car needed a new transmission and I had to put groceries on my credit card for 3 weeks, I still sent the $500. They never said thank you. It was simply expected, like weather or gravity. My OSAP payment was $680 a month. I did the math constantly. I knew exactly what every choice had cost me. I knew that the $500 I sent my parents each month could have knocked 2 years off my repayment schedule. I knew and I sent it anyway. Because they were my parents. Because that's what family does. I met Spencer in January 2023. He was a high school history teacher in Kingston. He had OSAP debt too, $52,000 for his undergrad and his B.Ed. We bonded over our shared loans and our shared love of used bookstores. On our 4th date, he met my parents at Thanksgiving dinner in Ottawa. Afterward, in the car, he said, "Your parents barely talk to you. They were busy with Audrey." Bridget, we were sitting right there. Your mother asked Audrey about her job 4 times. She asked you once, and when you told her about your students winning the regional science fair, she said that's nice, and passed the cranberry sauce. I know. He didn't push it then. But Spencer noticed things. He noticed my mother called Audrey every other day. She called me twice a month, usually to confirm the e-transfer had come through. He noticed that when Audrey texted the family group chat about buying a new sectional sofa, my mother sent 14 heart emojis. When I texted our engagement photo, she replied 9 hours later. Lovely. 1 word. Spencer was the first person who said, "You don't owe them that money. They're my parents." Family goes both ways, Bridget. I wasn't ready to hear it. Audrey married Graham Aldridge in June 2023. He worked in commercial real estate development in Calgary, made about $210,000. The wedding cost $42,000. My parents contributed $15,000. They asked me to cover their gift to Audrey, a $7. 200 KitchenAid set Audrey had picked out herself. "We'll pay you back," my father said. They never did. When Spencer and I got engaged in September 2024, my mother's reaction was measured. "That's lovely. Sweetheart. Does Spencer have a pension? Teachers don't make much in Ontario." Audrey and Graham bought a house in southwest Calgary, 2,800 square feet, $620,000. My mother flew out to visit them every 2 months. She came to Kingston to visit me 3 times in 2024. Audrey had a daughter, Hazel, born January 2024. My mother 3 times a week. She called me once a month, usually about the money. She called me once. Then in November 2025, Audrey and Graham bought a vacation property in Kelowna, BC. 3-bedroom townhouse on the lake, $480,000. My mother sent a group text to the entire family. Big news. Audrey and Graham bought a place in Kelowna. We're flying out for the housewarming. So proud of our girl. I was in that group text. My wedding invitations had gone out 4 weeks earlier. No group text about that. My parents booked flights to Kelowna on November 3rd. Ottawa to Vancouver, then a connector to Kelowna. 5.5 hours of travel. They stayed 12 days. I watched it unfold on Facebook. My mother documented everything. 51 photos. Day 1 arrived in beautiful Kelowna. So proud of Audrey's gorgeous lake house. Day 4, wine tasting with our girl. Family time is everything. Day 9, can't believe we have to leave soon. Audrey, we love you so much. They bought Audrey a Restoration Hardware outdoor dining set. $2,400 plus $3,800 in cash as a housewarming gift. $6,200 for a vacation home. For a daughter already living in a $620,000 house with a husband pulling in 6 figures. My wedding was 3 weeks away. I texted my mother when they got back, "Welcome home. How was the trip?" She replied 7 hours later, "Wonderful. Audrey's place is stunning. We're exhausted though. That kind of travel really takes it out of you at our age." I didn't respond. 3 weeks later, that exhaustion would be their excuse. November 16th. What time does your ceremony wedding? My mother called. "Bridget, what time does your ceremony start again?" Right. And it's in Kingston? Yes. Like I've told you. Multiple times. That's a fair drive for us, you know. Mom, it's 2 hours on the 401. Straight shot. Well, it feels longer when your knees are bad. You just flew to Kelowna. That's different. We were sitting on a plane. My chest went cold. I already knew. "I'll see you on the 22nd, I said. I hung up before my voice cracked. That night I told Spencer, "I don't think they're coming. Don't borrow trouble," he said. "They RSVP'd. I know. But I know them better." Tuesday, November 18th, 4 days before my wedding. I was at my desk during lunch, marking a stack of book reports. My phone buzzed, Dad calling. He never called during the school day. "Bridget, we need to talk about Saturday." "What about Saturday?" I knew, but I needed him to say it. "Your mother's knees have been terrible. The doctor said she shouldn't be sitting in a car for more than 30 minutes. Dad, it's 2 hours. She sat on a plane for 5.5 hours to see Audrey's house. Silence. That was different. How? Audrey really needed us there. It was important to her. And my wedding isn't important. You have Spencer's whole family in Kingston. You'll have plenty of people. Audrey doesn't have Graham's family nearby. She needed us more. My hand was shaking. I switched to speaker and pressed both palms flat on my desk. "I need you too, Dad." "Bridget, don't be dramatic. You've always been the independent one. Your mother's health has to come first. I understand perfectly." "Good. We'll send a nice gift. See you at Christmas." I hung up. I sat at my desk for 5 minutes. Then I opened the seating chart on my laptop and deleted their names from the front row. I left the chairs empty. I texted Spencer. "They're not coming." He called immediately. I let it ring, texted back. "I'll tell you tonight. I have kids after lunch. I taught fractions for 40 minutes. Helped a girl named Sadia understand that 3/4 was bigger than 2/3 by cutting up paper circles. Then I went into the supply closet and cried. My Uncle Ray called the next morning. My father's younger of Kingston. Your dad called me. Said they're skipping your wedding." "Yeah, he's a coward, Bridget. Always has been. Uncle Ray, you don't have to come. It's a drive. 90 minutes. If I can make it, they can make it. I'll be there. I'll sit in their chairs." He hung up before I could argue. Spencer's mother called that evening. "Bridget, honey, we're going to fill that church with so much love you won't have room to feel anything else." I believed her. Saturday, November 22nd, 2025. I woke up at Spencer's parents' house on Victoria Street. His sister Allegra did my hair. I kept checking my phone. "You keep looking at it," she said. "I know. They're not going to call." "I know that too." "Then why?" "Because I'm still their daughter. Even if they forgot." At 11:30, I checked one last time. Nothing. I turned my phone off at noon and put it in a drawer. Uncle Ray arrived at 12:15 with Tim Hortons coffee and a box of Timbits. "I'm here, kid, where do you need me?" I put on my wedding dress. Simple, off the rack, a bridal consignment shop on Princess Street. $650 with alterations. I'd paid for it myself. Everything I owned, I'd paid for myself. Spencer's father, Harold, knocked on the door at 1:30. "Bridget, I'd be honored to walk you down that aisle. You said yes last month. I mean it even more today. The church held 62 seats, 60 were filled. Front row left, 2 chairs, ivory ribbons empty. The most visible spot in the chapel. I walked down the aisle at 2-7. Harold Beckett held my arm. I looked at those empty chairs as I passed. I didn't look away. I wanted every person in that room to see exactly who wasn't there. Spencer was crying at the altar. Uncle Ray had moved up from his assigned seat in the 5th row. He sat front row now, arms crossed, jaw set. He filled some of the space my parents left, but not all of it, not even close. The ceremony was 24 minutes. Beautiful. When I said my vows, to have and to hold, my voice broke on the word hold. Spencer squeezed my hands. We kissed. Everyone clapped. For maybe 30 seconds, I forgot about the chairs. The reception was in the church hall. Buffet lunch, 60 guests, simple and warm. The photographer asked if I wanted family portraits with my parents. They're not here, I said. She looked confused. I didn't explain. Spencer's friend Margot gave a toast. To Bridget and Spencer. To the people who show up. Not because it's easy, but because love isn't supposed to be convenient. To chosen family. 60 glasses raised. 2 chairs stayed empty. Everyone noticed. Nobody said it. Spencer's mother quietly placed a flower arrangement where my parents should have been standing in the family photos. At 4 o'clock, Harold and I danced to a Simon and Garfunkel song. The father-daughter dance. I cried into his shoulder. You're my daughter too now, he whispered. I believed him. We spent our wedding night at a B&B in Prince Edward County. I checked my phone at 11. Nothing from my parents. I slept better than I had in months because I'd finally stopped waiting. The next 2 weeks were silent. No call, no text, no gift, no apology. On December 1st, I didn't send my parents their usual first time in 6 years. My bank account looked strange with that extra $500 sitting there. December 4th, my father left a voicemail. Bridget, it's Dad. I noticed the usual didn't come through this month. Sure, it's just an oversight. Give me a call. I played it 3 times. He called about the money. Not to apologize, not about the wedding, the money. I deleted the voicemail and didn't call back. What I didn't know yet was that on December 2nd, my parents had received a letter from a lawyer named Catherine Dwyer in Kingston. It was about my great-aunt Marguerite's estate, my grandmother Elaine's sister. Marguerite had passed away in October. She'd left $55,000 in her will to be split between me and Audrey. Standard estate procedure. Catherine was doing due diligence and had discovered that my grandmother Elaine had also established an RESIS-linked education trust for me back in 2001. She sent a letter requesting a full accounting. I didn't know any of this, not yet, but my father did. December 15th. I was at my desk prepping a lesson on multiplication when the school secretary Donna appeared at my classroom door. Bridget, your father's here, in the office. Says it's urgent family business. My hand stopped writing. I put down the marker, walked to the front office. He was standing near the reception desk, grey hair thinner than I remembered. He was wearing the good jacket he wore to Audrey's events. He was holding a manila envelope. His hands were shaking. Dad, Bridget, thanks for seeing me. I didn't know I had a choice. I led him to the staff meeting room down the hall. Florist long table plastic chairs. I didn't sit. He did. I know you're upset about the wedding. Is that why you're here? No, I'm here about your grandmother's estate. Grandma Elaine died when I was 14, in 2007. Why are we talking about her estate now? Your great-aunt Marguerite passed in October. I know. I saw the obituary in the Citizen. You didn't tell me. He flinched. We were going, things have been busy. You flew to Kelowna. That wasn't busy. Bridget. Please. He opened the envelope. Marguerite left some money, $55,000, split between you and Audrey. Okay, but the estate lawyer is asking questions about another trust. From 2001. What trust? He slid a letter across the table. Catherine Dwyer and Associates, dated December 2nd. Estate of Marguerite Beaulieu, accounting request. Elaine Lawson Education Trust for beneficiary Bridget Lawson. I didn't know my grandmother had left me a trust. My father didn't look at me. That's when I knew. He slid another set of papers across the table. InTrust education account established August 9th, 2001. Beneficiary, Bridget Ann Lawson. Date of birth, March 22, 1994. Initial deposit, $175,000. Custodians, my parents, I read it twice, $175,000. Your grandmother wanted you to have money for school. I took out $67,000 in student loan. I know. Then where did it go? Show me. He pulled out bank statements, 6 years of them, 2008 to 2014. September 2008, $18,000 withdrawal. Qualified education expense. January 2009, $22,000. August 2009, $26,000. I grabbed my phone and searched. Ashbury College tuition, $26,000 a year. Audrey's private school. I kept scrolling, $31,000. Audrey's semester in Barcelona, 2013 to 2016. $15,000. $14,000. $13,500. $12,000. University of Ottawa tuition. Every withdrawal matched an Audrey expense, every single one. Meanwhile, I'd been filling out OSAP applications in the campus library at midnight. We made difficult decisions, Bridget. Both our daughters needed education. It had my name on it. Family resources are family resources. We thought you'd understand. You were always so capable. You got scholarships. You were going to be fine. I was fine because I worked 30 hours a week while carrying a full course load. I was fine because I ate rice and canned soup 5 nights a week. I was fine because I made myself fine. Not because you helped me. Audrey needed more support. Audrey got a semester in Spain. I got a second job. You're twisting things. I'm reading your bank statements, Dad. He pulled out one more document, freshly printed. Beneficiary release and acknowledgement form. The estate lawyer needs this signed to close out Marguerite's estate properly. I read it. I, Bridget Lawson, acknowledge that I received the full distribution of the education trust established for my benefit by Elaine Lawson in 2001, totaling $175,000. I hereby release the estate from any further obligation and confirm all funds were used appropriately for my educational expenses. I looked up at him. You want me to lie? I want you to help your family. If this doesn't get signed, the estate process gets complicated. Audrey's share of Marguerite's money could be held up. She's counting on it for Hazel's respite. Get out, Bridget. You stole $175,000 from me. You spent it on Audrey. You let me drown in debt. You skipped my wedding. And now you want me to sign a legal document saying you did nothing wrong so Audrey can get more money. It's not what you think. Get out of my school. He stood, walked to the door. Then he came back for the envelope. But he was flustered, panicking. He grabbed it and left half the papers on the table. Bank statements, the trust document, the release form. He left the evidence behind. I sat alone in that room for 20 minutes. Donna looked through the window but didn't come in. I went through every page. At the very bottom, in a smaller envelope tucked inside the manila one, was a sealed letter. Cream-coloured stationery, faded, addressed in shaky handwriting. For Bridget. To be opened when you start university. With love, Grandma Elaine. My hands shook as I opened it. August 9th, 2001. My dearest Bridget, you are 7 years old today. You came to visit me last Sunday and told me about your summer. You talked about swimming lessons and the books you'd been reading. 14 books this summer. You were so proud. Then you went quiet and asked me why Audrey got a new bicycle and you didn't. You said it wasn't fair. You said maybe next year. I see things, sweetheart. Things the adults around you choose not to see. Your mother has always favoured Audrey. I don't say this to be cruel. I say it because someone needs to tell you the truth. It is not your fault. You are not less worthy. You are not less loved by the world. Only less visible to the people who should see you most. I'm setting aside money for your education. $175,000. It's not a fortune, but it's enough to give you choices. Enough to study what you want without suffocating under debt. Enough to buy you freedom. This money is for you. Not for household expenses, not for your sister, not for emergencies that mysteriously benefit everyone but you, for you. I'm naming your parents as custodians because the law requires it. I am trusting them. If they betray that trust, if they take what is yours and give it to someone else, I want you to fight. You fight for what belongs to you, Bridget. I'm also leaving you my sapphire ring, the one I wore on my wedding day. Your mother asked for it once. I said no, it's yours. Wear it and remember, you deserve to be seen, you deserve to be chosen, you deserve every good thing this life has to offer. If you're reading this, I'm probably gone. But I want you to know that I saw you. Every time you went quiet when Audrey got praised. Every time you smiled through a disappointment. Every time you shrank yourself to make room for someone else's needs. I saw you. I loved you. I tried to protect you. Use this money wisely. Build the life you deserve. And if they try to take it from you, remember what your grandma Elaine said. You fight for what's yours. All my love, forever, Grandma Elaine. P.S. Being strong doesn't mean you don't deserve tenderness. You can be capable and still need to be held. I read it 3 times, then I put my forehead on the table and sobbed. She knew, my grandmother knew what they would do. She tried to stop it and they did it anyway. Donna knocked softly 20 minutes later. Honey, you okay? No, but I will be. I gathered every paper, put them in my bag. That evening, Spencer read everything, the bank statements, the trust, the letter. He was quiet for a long time. Then Bridget. This is theft. I know. No. I mean legally, under the law. They were custodians. They had a fiduciary obligation. They broke it. He wanted me to sign a form saying I got the money. Did you? Of course not. Good, because we're calling a lawyer in the morning. He held me that night. I didn't cry. I'd cried enough. Now I needed to be precise. Wednesday morning. Catherine Dwyer's office on Brock Street. Small firm, 2 partners. Her website said she specialized in trust disputes and estate litigation. She was maybe 55, reading glasses, direct manner, no wasted words. She read everything, asked questions, took notes. How much do you still owe on your student loans? $48,000, and they spent $175,000 of your trust on your sister. Yes, Bridget. This is textbook breach of fiduciary duty. Under Ontario law, custodians of in-trust accounts must use funds exclusively for the named beneficiary. They can't redirect to other children. What your parents did is misappropriation. What are my options? Demand letter first. Full accounting and restitution. If they refuse, we file. You'd be entitled to the original $175,000 plus interest, plus your legal costs, possibly aggravated damages. How long? If they settle quickly, 2 to 3 months. If they fight, a year. Send the letter. I called Uncle Ray that evening. Uncle Ray, I need to tell you something about Dad and the trust Grandma Elaine left me. Long pause. Then, finally, I've been waiting years for you to find out. You knew your father told me in 2010 he was using Elaine's money for both girls. I told him it was wrong, that it was yours. We barely spoke for 3 years after that. Will you tell that to my lawyer? I'll tell it to a judge if you need me to. By December 22nd, Catherine had a sworn affidavit from Uncle Ray and a letter from the family minister at Grandma Elaine's church, confirming that Elaine had specifically discussed the trust as protection against favoritism. The evidence was growing. December 23rd, Catherine sent the demand letter, certified mail and email, full restitution, $175,000 principal, $42,000 in accumulated interest, $38,700 in student loan interest I'd paid, legal fees, total demand, $255,700, 14 days to respond. 3 days later my phone rang, Mom calling, I answered. How could you do this to your own family? Hi, Mom. We could lose the house, Bridget. Is that what you want? Your parents on the street. I want the money Grandma left me, the money you stole. We didn't steal anything. We used it for education. Audrey's education matters too. It had my name on it. Family resources are family resources. You're being ungrateful. After everything we did for you, what did you do for me, Mom? Specifically. She sputtered. Sue, we raised you. We fed you. You flew across the country for Audrey's housewarming and wouldn't drive 2 hours to my wedding. Your father's knees were fine on the airplane. If you go through with this, you'll destroy this family. You already destroyed it. You destroyed it every time you picked her. You destroyed it when you spent my future on hers. You destroyed it when you didn't show up to watch me get married. I'm not destroying anything, Mom. I'm just done pretending it was ever whole. Audrey is devastated. She didn't know. Audrey never knows. Because you protect her from every consequence. Not this time. Please, Bridget. We'll pay you back over time. Just drop the lawsuit. Talk to my lawyer. I hung up. Spencer had been sitting beside me, holding my hand the entire time. I blocked my mother's number. I expected guilt. I felt free. 2 days later, Audrey called. Bridget, this is insane. I didn't know about the trust. Hi, Audrey. I swear. Mom and Dad never told me, but you knew I had student loans while they paid for your school. I thought they were helping us differently. They helped you with my money. It's not my fault they made that choice. No, it's not. But it's not my job to protect you from the truth anymore. If they lose the house, where will they go? They're 67 and 69, Bridget. They made choices, Audrey. For 20 years they made choices. You're really going to ruin their lives over money. I've paid $680 a month for 10 years on loans I never should have needed. That's my life they ruined. I'm asking for what Grandma left me. You were always jealous of me. I paused. You're right. I was jealous that you had parents who showed up, who paid attention, who flew across the country to watch you pick out curtains, but wouldn't drive 2 hours to see me get married. Yeah. I was jealous. That's not fair. No, Audrey. None of it was fair. That's the whole point. Silence. Then she said, "This is why they always liked me better." I sat with that sentence for maybe 3 seconds. Then I said, "I know," and I hung up. My sister said the quiet part out loud, and I realized I didn't flinch anymore. January 5th, 2026, Catherine called. Their lawyer wants to settle. They reviewed the documents. They know they'd lose in court. And a court filing means public record. They don't want that. What are they offering? Full restitution. A $175,000 plus $42,000 in interest. They're asking us to waive the student loan interest claim and legal costs. Catherine's recommendation. Take it. You get the principal plus interest. They admit wrongdoing in writing. It's done by the end of January. Fighting for the remaining $50,000 could drag on for months. Will the settlement say they were wrong? It will state they improperly withdrew funds from your custodial trust and agree to full restitution. That's legal language for they stole from me. Essentially, yes. Then yes, let's settle. January 12th, I signed. My parents agreed to pay $217,000, $120,000 by January 20th, the rest by February 20th. To cover it, they had to sell the house they'd owned since 1988, semi-detached in Ottawa, valued at $485,000. They moved to a one-bedroom rental near Vanier. Audrey received $0 from Great Aunt Marguerite's estate. I received the full $55,000. Everything in writing, legally binding. January 20th. The certified check arrived by courier at 10:15 in the morning. $120,000 from my parents to me. Memo. Settlement payment 1 of 2. Spencer asked, "How does it feel? Like it's mine?" For the first time, something is actually mine. We went to the bank that afternoon. TD on Princess Street. The teller processed the deposit. Large sum, she noted. Congratulations on your good fortune. I didn't correct her. My account balance. $16,430. First time I'd ever seen 6 figures in my own account. At 3 o'clock, I logged into my OSAP repayment portal. National Student Loans Service Centre. Current balance, $47,891.20. I clicked make a payment. Full amount, $47,009.20. Are you sure? Do it, Spencer said. I clicked. Payment confirmed. Your balance is $0. 10 years, 120 payments, $81,600 paid. And now 0. It's gone, I said. The debt's gone, your turn, I said. I paid off Spencer's loans too, $49,200. Total cleared that day, $97,091.22. We picked up shawarma on the way home, sat on the couch. Didn't talk, just held each other. For the first time since I was 22 years old, I didn't owe anyone anything. In February, we started looking at houses. We saw 7 in 3 weekends. The 4th one felt right. A 1940s brick bungalow near Lake Ontario, 2 bedrooms, hardwood floors, a wood-burning fireplace, a screened front porch, 38 Lakeview Crescent, asking $340,000. We offered $348,000, accepted. Down payment, $70,000 from the settlement. mortgage, $278,000, monthly payment, about $400, almost exactly what we'd been paying in student loans. But now we were building equity, building a future. Closing date, March 20th. We drove past every weekend. This is ours, I said, standing on the sidewalk in the February cold, not anyone else's. Ours, February 20th. The second check arrived, $97,000. With it, a small box, no note, my father's handwriting on the label, Bridget Lawson. Inside was Grandma Elaine's sapphire ring, silver band, deep blue stone, small and elegant, the ring she'd mentioned in her letter. I slid it onto my right hand. Perfect fit. She wanted me to have this, I said. It suits you, Spencer said. In March, I established the Elaine Lawson Education Fund, $80,000 Inline University Foundation. Generates roughly $6,500 a year in perpetuity. Annual bursary for Ontario students pursuing education degrees who receive no financial support from family. The first recipient was a 20-year-old named Kira Okafovo, single mother working nights at a call center, estranged from parents who'd cut her off when she chose teaching over nursing. I met her in my classroom after school on a Tuesday in late March. Kira, congratulations. You've been selected for the Elaine Lawson bursary. She started crying. I don't know what to say. You don't have to say anything. My grandmother left me money for school. My parents took it. I got it back. And I want to make sure someone like you doesn't have to choose between eating and learning. Thank you. This changes everything. Use it well. Build your future. And remember, you deserve this. I couldn't go back and protect the girl I used to be. But I could protect someone who reminded me of her. Last Sunday, Spencer's parents' dining room. Table set for 8. Harold and Diane Beckett, Allegra and her husband, Uncle Ray, Margot, Donna from school, roast chicken, mashed potatoes, rolls and butter tarts for dessert. I stood at the head of the table wearing Grandma Elaine's ring. I want to say something. Everyone went quiet. 8 months ago, I got married with 2 empty chairs in the front row. 2 months ago, my father showed up at my school, asking me to lie about money he stole from me. 3 months ago, I found out my grandmother tried to protect me from a family that couldn't see me. I touched the ring, but I'm here now, in a room full of people who chose to show up. Not because they had to, because they wanted to. Uncle Elaine, she would have loved this, Harold. To Bridget. She would have been so proud. Diane, to family, the kind you choose. Everyone. To family. I drove home with Spencer that night. We passed our house. The porch light was on. We'd set it on a timer. It glowed in the dark like a small, steady promise. I haven't spoken to my parents since January 12th. I haven't spoken to Audrey since she said, this is why, or they always liked me better. I won't pretend it doesn't hurt. It does. Not because I miss who they were, but because I mourn who they should have been. The mother who should have shown up, the father who should have protected me, the sister who should have questioned why everything came so easily. But I don't mourn the version of myself who kept waiting for them to change. She's gone. In her place is a woman who knows her worth, who wears her grandmother's ring, who built a bursary from the wreckage of betrayal, who married a man who sees her, who owns a house with a porch light she leaves on, who sleeps without the weight of $680 monthly payments pressing on her chest. The trust my grandmother left me was supposed to buy freedom. They stole it. But I got something better. I learned that freedom isn't something someone gives you. It's something you take back. They spent my future on the daughter they preferred, but I built a better one. For myself, and for every girl out there who deserves to be seen.